Hi everyone, my name is Greg Dietz and I am one of the school counselors at Lancaster Catholic High School. This is the Coffee with Counselors presentation that we gave on Thursday, November 9th. We wanted to make sure that we were able to provide this information to all of our parents who were not able to join us for our presentation this morning at school. So in this presentation, we're just going to give a quick overview of who we are and what we do and how we can help your students not only this year, but in the years as we move forward. So we have 4 counselors at Lancaster Catholic. Here are 3 of us, Mrs. Joanne Kastner, Mrs. Joey Colbert, and myself, Mr. Greg Dietz. And additionally, there's our Director of School Counseling, Mrs. Grosh. She also has some freshmen on her caseload. And Mrs. Cindy Shomo. She's our Administrative Assistant in the counseling office. So if you call the counseling office, you will be speaking with Mrs. Shomo. So what we do, we really break it down into 3 main categories: academic, personal, social, and career. So in terms of academics, we really help students by supporting them in their classes. Rather than teaching content, we really help them to make sure that they're doing everything they can in terms of study habits, staying organized, how are they planning out their time, can we help them with test-taking skills, or even something like they're struggling in a certain class and they want to approach a teacher. So we can help them kind of figure out what they want to say in that conversation and help them in that way. Additionally, personal and social, the transition to high school is one that is really tough for a teenager. And along with that, there are a lot of things going on in the world around us, like social media with Snapchat and Twitter and whatever else students might be on. And we're here to help students if they come across any issues in this personal social realm. So it could be coping strategies if they're dealing with something. Maybe there was a death in the family and they're having trouble with that. It could be that they're in a pretty big argument with a friend. If there is any bullying situation that they might be dealing with, or just if they're feeling a little bit down about how things are going, or maybe a little bit anxious. We're here to talk to students about that and be a support to them in any way possible. We also are happy to make referrals outside of the building if a student needs a little bit more than we can offer here in terms of external support and therapy with a psychologist or a psychiatrist. We can help with that as well. And then there's the career part. This is probably what a lot of people think of when it comes to school counseling and what we do. So we do help with the post-high school planning process. We help them do some career searching and career planning. And once they get to that point, we also help with the college search and college application process. So how does a student go about setting up a meeting? Well, in the month of November, we are meeting with all of our 9th grade students. Every student is guaranteed at least 1 meeting per year with their counselor. We call students in at other times if there's something that comes up. A teacher may come to us and say that they have a concern about a student, or maybe a student is struggling in a couple of classes. We might call them into our office to talk to them. But overall, we meet with every student at least once. A student can always set up a meeting with us if they would like to by emailing us at these email addresses. We also have something called Canvas. That's one of our learning management systems, and students can message us on there as well. When we are getting ready to meet with a student, we will send them a green pass that they get in homeroom in the morning to come see us. We only pull students from free periods in their day. So if they have a study hall or a crusader period in the middle of the day or at lunch, we pull them from those. That way they don't have to miss any academic time to meet with us, unless of course it's an emergency. Those are the only times that we would pull a student from class. You can also set up a meeting with your child's counselor if you wanted to. You can just send an email to that individual counselor and we can figure out a time that would work best based on your calendar and ours. So confidentiality. It's important that we tell this to students and to you, the parents, as well. So all meetings with a counselor are kept confidential between the student and his or her counselor, unless a couple of things happen. If a student says, yes, please go ahead and share this information with my parents or share that information with my teachers, we go ahead and do it then. Or if a student indicates that they're going to hurt themselves or someone else. Additionally, along those same lines, if a student indicates that someone else is going to hurt another person, those are things that we cannot keep confidential and we have to report. Otherwise, we do keep things confidential to establish rapport with students and make them feel safe and that they can talk to us. So, school counseling timeline. As I mentioned, every student is guaranteed at least one meeting per year with their school counselor. And in ninth grade, as I mentioned earlier, we're meeting with the students right now since the first quarter is ended and really talking about that transition to Lancaster Catholic. How are things going academically? How are they going personally? How are they doing socially? Are you getting involved in things? Just how are your classes going, and really getting to know them and start building that rapport. What we do is we ask a bunch of different questions that we'll talk a little bit more about at the end, but it's really about getting to know them, having them come to our office, feeling comfortable with us, and really just starting off on a good foot. In 10th grade, we meet with our sophomores after the second quarter, and we go into career searching at this point. This year, we invested into software called Naviance, and this is software that we just got up and running at the beginning of November. So our 10th grade students will be the first students to really get their hands on the software as we work with them. Naviance has a bunch of different assessments, including career cluster finders. They have personality assessments, learning style assessments, career searches. So a lot of great information, and we bring in every student and walk them through this process so that they can start to explore things that they like, things that they're good at, things they're passionate about, and try to find some things that might match up in terms of what careers would be a good fit for them. So we do a lot of that stuff in 10th grade. In 11th grade, we meet with students after the third quarter, and we start to talk about what do we need to do to get you ready for senior year. If you're looking to go into the workforce, let's build your resume. Let's go through some mock interviews. How do you search for jobs? Those kinds of things. If they're looking to go into the military, talking to them about maybe meeting up with a recruiter, really doing that research to make sure that they're doing the thing that they want to do and they're confident that that's the right choice for them. Most of our students do go on to some kind of higher education. Every year it's about 90 to 95% of our students go on to some kind of higher education, whether that's a 2-year or a 4-year school. So for those kids, it's about what schools are right for you, what things can you do between the time your senior meeting happens in about March or April and the time you come back senior year to get ready. Because we meet with students right away to start senior year. So we do that career planning again if they need it. We do college searches. We help them with the college applications that they have. We talk to them about how they can process all that paperwork. And again, that's right at the beginning of 12th grade. So it's important that in 11th grade we do some upfront planning to make that 12th grade meeting go a little bit smoother for the student. So that's a bit of the timeline. As I mentioned before, these are some of the questions that we're asking your students in their freshman meeting. So how has your transition gone? What kind of goals do you have for yourself? Not just for this year, but looking down the road. Is there something that you're passionate about that you're thinking you might want to do as an adult? How would you rank your study habits on a scale of 1 to 10? What's going well with your studying? What have you learned about yourself and your study habits in the first marking period? And what can we improve going into quarter 2 and beyond? We talked to them a little bit about if there's anything they've gotten involved in so far, what they enjoy doing, and try to emphasize that it's really important that they get involved in things so they can start to really get engrossed in the community and the culture here at Lancaster Catholic and just branch out to meet some new people. And again, what's a goal you have for yourself after you finish high school? These are some questions that are really great at starting conversation with these students who typically aren't aware of who we are or what we do. So we're finding that in doing these freshman interviews, it's a great way to start building that trust and rapport with your students. So again, my name is Greg Dietz and I'm one of the school counselors here at Lancaster Catholic. All of us are more than happy to talk with you if there's something that comes up or if you feel you have a question that you're not quite sure of the answer of. We also encourage you to reach out to your students' teachers. So if you see a problem in a certain class, it's always your best bet to start with that teacher because they're the ones that are seeing your student every other day in class, and they know what's going on in that classroom and probably offer the most amount of help if it comes to one individual subject. But we're here to help in any way that we possibly can. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Again, you can find our email addresses online, or you can rewind a little bit in the presentation to see those. You can also give us a call in the school counseling office at 717-509-0305. Thanks so much for tuning in for this presentation. And again, please let us know if there's anything that we can do to help you or your student as we move forward. Thanks so much.